How was your birthday?
My birthday.
Yeah. Oh, wait,
Um,
when was that? I don't remember
hmm,
too much of that.
hmm, hmm. So April 20, I turned 20.
Ooh,
Ooh,
perfect.
big boy
Perfect.
now. I'm a big dog now. I'm 20. I don't know if I could classify myself as a teenager anymore,
Ooh.
unfortunately. But technically, the male brain doesn't stop developing until 23. So I still
Okay.
have some time before I can have to call myself an adult.
Fair enough.
But yeah, on the actual date, my brother and I, we went to just get Korean barbecue, got a jug of beer, got some soju. Then we went to a pub, got a pint each. Then we went to the local grocery market, got two ice cream cakes. Oh, and then we went to get
Oh
Chinese
yeah.
food. And we came back home, ate half of the ice cream cake. I ate the half of one ice cream cake, and then passed out from eating too much food. And then I remember I woke up so many times in the middle of the night, just so dehydrated from the amount of salt and beer I've had that night. I know. It's I need water, but I need cold water because warm water wasn't filling it. But then also the fact that I was so full made me struggle to drink more water. So I'm
Mm.
in a constant state. If I drink too much water, I'll end up vomiting.
Okay.
What a vicious cycle. Yeah. But that was on Tuesday.
Mm.
Yesterday, I think an old roommate came over. He brought some beers, and I bought a 6 pack. Well, a 6 pack, and then some other assortment of other beers, and we just had that and snacks, and then just caught up. And
Hell yeah.
then he brought a fucking goon bag. And for you non-Australian viewers, a goon bag is basically a box with a bag of wine in it. And it was 2 liters of red wine. And I'm just oh fuck. So that became started flowing, and then it's just got really hungry afterwards, and then went to get Chinese hot pot. Ate too much.
Hell yeah.
I feel the common theme is I always eat too much. I ate too fucking much. I had a hard time breathing. So I had to
Oh my
walk.
god, what the fuck?
So I had to walk around for a bit with my brother, just breathing hurt, dude. Breathing hurt. I was praying, yo, forgive me for my gluttony, dude. I'm so sorry. I will never be gluttonous ever again. You say that because you're trying to
Survive.
to make yourself feel better. So I was
Yeah.
walking through the city. Ooh, fun fact. I saw two drunk people fighting
Oh nice. How was that?
in
Did
an
you
alleyway. And then I think, fortunately, my brother stopped the police car, and the police officers went to go check it out. And then, oh fuck me, it because they were pushing and kicking each other, but they were really fucked. They were having a hard
Oh.
time trying to balance each other. I don't know why they were fighting to begin with. They looked it was two guys fighting. So yeah, the police officers went and dealt with it, and I'm just oh, okay, I have to just go home now. And then I just died in my fucking bed when I got home, just of how much food I ate. But yeah, that's pretty good. Turning 20 is not that bad. Started it off with responsible drinking, I'd say. It's a good start. It's just,
Yeah, at least
only
at
uphill
least you
from
didn't
there. Uphill from there.
at least you didn't end up fighting with someone, you know.
True.
Out of being just so fucking drunk.
Yeah, compared to my last birthday, I was blackout drunk. I
God.
was in lockdown, and I remember waking up in the bathroom. That's it. I didn't even have cake because I just passed out before the cake was taken out of the fridge. So yeah, that was great.
Damn. Damn.
Oh, but yeah, that was definitely something. Definitely something.
Yeah. I'm just trying to imagine what could have instigated that fight between those two drunk fucks. Just no, you fucking tried to geese my girl, bro. It's
It's
no,
probably
dude.
something like that. It's probably something as shallow as that. They
Yeah.
had to walk to that alley to begin with, and they probably had a
Yeah.
conversation in that alleyway, and there's oh, you done something bad to me, but I'm gonna best you don't. That's probably the conversation. And the other guy's you slept with my girl, bro. She's the love of my life. I've been dating her for 3 weeks, bro. She's my life. I'm oh my god, that's. They actually sound like that. They actually sound like that.
Yeah. Wow, that's that's crazy. Were they actually landing any hits, or were they missing?
It was a cheap kung fu movie. I saw some high kicks, but obviously it was not really done. They were like pushing against each other, shoving. I saw some like punches that were easily like dodged, but like slow dodge, like ooh, ooh. Like I'm like okay, guy got moves, that's for sure.
It's the drunk Matrix.
Like they were like pulling on each other as well, like banging each other into like the wall and shit.
Banging each other, dude.
You know, mate. Nah.
Just so drunk. Just so drunk. Oh yeah, you're gonna fucking get these, bro. That's cracked. No, but speaking of kung fu, dude, I was thinking about this. Like, what if someone trying to like look up for like a martial arts instructor, someone trying to look that person up, like search on Google martial arts, but they misspell martial and they instead put marital arts instead, and it's just like they find someone and the guy's just like, all right, so I'm going to teach you how to get divorced in a quick 2 days. It's really easy. You know, you can bypass all the paperwork. It's super simple.
This is like how to get custody over the kids, or how to not get custody over the kids.
Exactly, and the guy's like, I came here to punch some shit, and what the fuck is this, dude?
It's like how to fix your marriage in 3 easy steps. This
is marital arts. I don't know what you're talking about. The guy's like dressed up in a tux.
It's like how to not pay alimony.
Yeah. Oh my god.
How to not have her take 50% of your stuff. Like, dang. It's like some sleazy lawyer.
Yeah. And he actually has like, so here I'm going to give you your yellow belt in marital arts. You now have mastered the art of really just telling your wife that, hey, you're hanging out with the boys and you don't really want to deal with her shit at the moment. So.
Fuck. Yeah. Jesus. Well, I think that's a lucrative business. It's, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think divorce rates are sort of rising, so...
So yeah, marital arts, boys. We're gonna start our own.
There's money to be found in there. That's for sure.
Yes, sir. You already know, dude. Oh my god. But yeah. Well, unfortunately, most of these businesses, if marital arts were a thing, that'd probably be online if ever. And this is our segue into talking about creating friendships and relationships online, you know, as per the whole environment of COVID-19, the pandemic and what have you. And our experiences, just like a fucking making friends online through, you know, online college and whatnot, online uni. Mm-hmm. Alex, you know, is in Australia, so like he's a little bit better off than the majority of the countries in the world. Wherein you are the like restrictions for just walking around and traveling. They're basically non-existent, or are they still there?
No, wear a mask on public transport, but no one really does that anymore. I think there's like limitations in restaurants and like public gatherings, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, borders are closed, but you can travel internally, and we could travel with New Zealand, I think. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, New Zealand would make sense because they were fucking clean for a while. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Yeah, fucking online friendships, dude. I've made a few because honestly, I think when you're making friends online, especially when it's kind of because you have to, mm-hmm. You know, because of online college, online uni, it's a little different. And, you know, I guess the same can be said for making friends IRL, kind of like in that same environment. Although, you know, I don't know if it's easier personally speaking, because I socially speaking, I'm just like I feel like a fucking rock.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel you there.
I feel like an absolute fucking rock. I try to strike up a conversation, and the next thing you know, like I'm just like, I don't know what to say. Exactly. Yeah. So, but when it comes to online relationships or friendships, I guess in this case, it's a little different because it's just so easy to mute yourself for classes, and it's just so easy to not really talk to anyone online because you're in the comfort of your own home. I think that's a factor as to why I think online relationships are a little bit difficult, because when you're in your own home, mm-hmm. when you're in your own room, just trying to fucking type shit out, like, you know, like, hey, you kind of just don't really feel that necessity or like that urge to talk to people. Mm-hmm. And when it came to college, you know, for my online college, like, it's just like, oh my God, I do not want to talk to any of these fucks at all. Like, I'm just not interested. They tried, like, they have a group chat which I commend them for, by the way. Like, holy shit, you guys have a whole group chat, and a majority of them, or well, if not a majority of them, a good number of them are actually talking on the group chat, and I think that's good. Granted, the group chat is a little bit offensive and sus at times. I'm just like, wow, this is cracked on a huge level. But yeah, there is that. The few friends that I did make, like literally 4, maybe 3 even. That one person may not even come. But anyway, like it's they were pretty cool. I mean, I say that, but one of them is like kind of, he draws a lot and he takes commission for furry drawings and things of that nature. So hey guys, listeners, if you wanna, if you want a drawing of some furry shit, hey,
what a plug.
what a plug-in, dude. Hit him up or something. It was funny though, because he was telling me, or like us, like our group, about a story of his computer fucking bricking. Like he bricked his computer because he tried to render some 3D furry shit, and then it broke down when it was trying to render like the ankles or like the feet, and I'm like, yeah, that'll do it. That's for certain. That's for certain, it'll do it. But like, he was able to render the other parts of this 3D drawing, and like he was like, yeah, huge knockers, and I'm like, hell yeah, huge knockers, dude. That's for sure. But I found the story absolutely hilarious. He's not weird. Okay, I guess you could say he's a little weird, but he's not weird. He draws for shit. He's not weird, dude. It's fine. No, but
It's
he's
a lucrative business.
yes, sir. Marital arts, shout out. But he's nice to talk to. He's funny. He does a lot of stuff outside of that, and even he thinks that some of the requests he gets are a little, no, not a little bit. Some of the requests he gets are fucking weird, like out of this world. And he's like, you know what? It's good money. I fucking make money. Might as well do it. So he does it anyway for the money. So yeah, he's one of the few friends that I made through online college, and I only made these friends literally the second term, and the first term for college was a little, it was fine. Academically speaking, it was actually better than my second term. Second term was better relationship speaking, but yeah, like for online relationships or friendships, that's kind of my experience so far. What about you? Like, I know that you are kind of off the online, classes and whatnot, and you're kind of, getting into the physical classes. But with your online classes, how was that in terms of relationships?
I didn't make any friends really
Oh,
online.
damn.
I had a group project where we talked to get to know each other. That's basically it. So like any actual like friendship or connections I have not made in my like first year of university. Sort of sucks. Actually no, it really did suck. But like I did have a lot of friendships I fostered online, mainly through Discord. Because like I went to a Discord server like constantly, played a lot of video games because like I had nothing else to fucking do. But yeah, it sort of strengthened a lot of old and somewhat new relationships, mainly just because like just talking every day. I sort of found it quite difficult to talk to people online, especially for like university, mainly just because it's just, to me, it feels very weird messaging someone for the first time on like social media, like Tinder. Yeah, that's a whole other fucking thing, right? Because you're obviously there for something. But like for social media, if you message someone on like Instagram or like Facebook Messenger for like the first time, it feels weird to me, because there's no established social connection. Like you don't like know someone or have talked to them previously in person. So then when you miss that like entire step, it feels like, I don't know. It really feels weird for me, really. And then trying to find things to talk about in general as well, I found really difficult, mainly because I couldn't. I'm dying. I couldn't really
Don't
read
die.
read the room, mainly because I couldn't like. There's obviously, you can always judge how a conversation is flowing, mainly with like the interaction you're getting, how they're interacting with you, and like the tone or the flow, I'd say. But all of that is fucking non-existent in a digital conversation, especially if the person's a bad messenger or bad texter. Like there's nothing wrong. It's just that some people just message very differently from how you're supposed, like how other people message. Um, and some people are really dry or don't express sarcasm very obviously. So, to me, I would be like, "What are you trying to say?" And then when I try to like say something, it's like, "Am I conveying the right thing properly? Like, do I have to make it more specific?" And it really sort of fed into my anxiety. Like interacting with people IRL is hard enough, but interacting online is like, oh, and I've always felt like it was so tiring, mainly just because like I felt like since there's no established connection, I didn't feel like this was fun for me to do, because I didn't feel like messaging them online was going anywhere. And especially on Zoom, everyone was just focused on like doing the uni work, right? So like you couldn't really message anyone, and even if you did, that'd be fucking weird. And then you have like the breakout rooms, right, where you could like talk for like a little bit, but then you still have to like do some work. So no matter what, you weren't really given an opportunity to like socialize. I don't know. Is this just me, or do you like relate to that as well?
Dude, the fucking breakout rooms. Okay, because the thing is, in comparison to physical, not even just that. Like, the thing about the breakout rooms through college or through uni is that they're there. The reason why you have breakout rooms and the reason why you're put into these groups is because you need to do work. Whereas if you were in a Discord server where you go into separate channels to play games, the reason why you're in those separate channels is to play games. And that's a better reason to join a room, and that's a better reason to socialize. If you're socializing to do work, it kind of really doesn't make sense if you think about it, because like, oh, I just need to do work. I don't need to talk to any of these fucks. But if you're playing a game, you know, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, it's just, there's no reason to really talk, because at the end of the day, you're trying to get a good grade, or at least you're trying to. I don't know if you are, if that's in your agenda, but at the end of the day, yeah. At the end of the day, you're just trying to pass the class, trying to do the work. There's no reason to talk to any to any of you guys, to any of the fucks. So, but when you're in a Discord server and you're on a channel and you want to play a game, there's more reason to socialize. Like, oh, dude, I fucking love this part of the game. What about you? Like, oh, dude, I fucking love that too. Or like, you're playing multiplayer. It's better to socialize so you can get a better rapport with your teammates. And that way you can, fucking get some dubs and shit like that. And when it comes to real life, though, for like physical classes and whatnot, yeah, sure, you're in a room. And the reason why you're in that room is to, educate yourself, get some work done. But it's different because, it's that whole convention of socializing and being in the same place as another person and not being separated by a screen. Because when you're separated by a screen, there is a big difference there. Than if you're in a physical kind of place. So I totally get what you're saying, like the messaging, and like it's just super weird to message someone for the first time without having to actually met them in real life, because it's, once again, we go back to that convention of meeting up with someone in real life and establishing, like you said, establishing a connection there. And it's just so much different when you fucking message someone, because like the sarcasm, like you said, is not there when you want it to be there. When you try to be sarcastic, there's a good chance it'll come off as fucking offensive. Yeah, dickish, yeah. And it's just like, dude, this guy's a fucking cock. But no, I'm just trying to be sarcastic, dude. That's all. there's no reason. But yeah, so I totally understand and I totally get you. It's not just you, dude. So
I think one of the worst things was like ghosting and being ghosted.
Ooh.
It's like you talk to someone for a bit and you realize like we have zero connection. And this feels so forced. And you normally get that bullshit out when you fucking meet someone, and for like a couple days you're like, oh hi, hello. Like you go through the normities, like the white people conversation, right? The white people talk, like the shallow level, like how are you doing today? Like ugh, I hate that. But you get through that bullshit in person. But when you don't have it in person, you have to go through it online, and I feel like it gets stretched out even longer because I think in person you have like a lot of opportunities to like jump over that hurdle, but in online it's really hard. So then you have to go through it, and then it's sort of really tiring to continuously do it. Like, oh, how's your day been? How's this? Blah. I'm like, ugh. And then it gets to the point where like I've ghosted someone just because like I really felt like the conversation was going in, and I felt bad. I really did feel bad. Because I'm like, oh, I want friends, but like I'm gonna be slightly picky as well. Like, nah. Like you have to have, in my mind, when I was trying to like make friends, you obviously have to enjoy being with them. So if you don't enjoy the conversation or enjoy being with them, then what's the point of being friends? You're just gonna be a very shallow form of friendship, which is something I don't really want. So like yeah, I've been ghosted, and I've ghosted, and I think like yeah, it fucking sucks, but then it's just something that you just get used to, and you just learn like you're not entitled to anything, and you shouldn't expect anything from anyone, especially when messaging online. So I just like fingers crossed, no matter what. But yeah, that's the experience I've sort of had with like online messaging, especially in like you said with like the Zoom breakout rooms. Like people just want to do work. Right. And but when you're like in an actual like learning environment, when you pop a joke or two and like get to socialize and shit, it's more acceptable because you know people are in an area where it's like when you are in when you are in like a classroom and you're just there to like you know you're there to socialize and to like learn. It's different from like a breakout room because someone is like you said in their room, has no obligation to like listen to you or anything like that. They just have to do the class because it's probably mandatory to like be there. And obviously they just really don't give a shit, mainly because they're not in a socializing mindset. Well, people vary, but so what I sort of think is like, oh damn.
The boys.
The casual fire brigade. But yeah, I think like I think like in most cases, if you're in your room and you don't have like a socializing mindset, you really don't want to talk to any of these fucks, right? Like I don't give a shit how interesting your life story is. I don't care who you are. I just want to do this and then go back to just wallowing in my bed just to be depressed for the next couple hours because of quarantine, right?
Yes.
But yeah, like some people are like, oh, I want to socialize. But me, because of how socially inept I've been for most of my life, it's just like, ugh, I don't know how to do this. And then online even makes it harder. So then like, yeah, like I don't know. It's just the whole thing of like the breakout rooms is like, it just didn't really feel like such a social environment. It felt so like I felt so obligated to continuously do work. And then everyone just doesn't want to share or really talk. Like they'll do like, hey, how have you been? All that. And you're like, oh, I'm fine and shit like that. But once like the lecturer starts talking, you're just like hush hush and shit like that. And then you know, I could never message someone. Well, I actually did. I messaged someone during like a Zoom like call, and then they responded so dryly, or that I perceived it as dryly, and I'm just like, I will not message you ever again. Like, I'm like, I have not messaged you ever again. I am sorry for like interrupting you by existing and shit like that. But yeah, that's what I did. But like, I don't know if anyone else can relate, but like, whenever I see like a cute girl, I always like pin her and just look at her just like, ooh, hello, instead of
Oh
focusing
my
on the
god.
lecture. But
Dude,
yeah.
oh, I'm just imagining you pinning the girl. What the hell, dude? I'm imagining you pinning the girl to the screen and you're like touching your screen like, oh.
Okay, relax, chill out, chill the fuck out, Benjo, chill
I'll
the fuck
see you
out.
IRL, dude.
Mm.
Alex go crazy, dude.
It's like it's like I don't know, like I have nothing better to do, and I really don't care of like listening, so I just pin the girl, and I was like, damn, she's cute.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even like, okay, I just stop talking.
No, you're
Don't
good.
dig the
You're
hole.
good.
Don't dig the hole. Don't dig the hole.
The hole is being dug. It has been
SEGWAY.
dug. The hole has. Here's the thing. The hole has been dug, and we're trying to dig another hole in that hole.
No. It's already deep enough. Let's move on.
Okay. Yeah. I got the ladder. We'll take us out. Take us out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh man, online relationships. That is definitely. It's a whole thing. Man. Fuck. I had something in mind. I totally forgot now. What the fuck it was. I think it was something along the lines of like, oh yeah. So the global pandemic. I totally forgot what it was. So the global pandemic is
COVID, bro. Don't say the actual word. I think YouTube demonetizes videos that say it actually.
Oh fuck.
So just say like Shmovid or Bovid.
Shmovid, yeah. Shmovid, you know, I mean, it's not like we're getting monetized for any of our videos right now. Anyway, we can dream, true. But Shmovid, you know, I think that definitely also plays a massive role. Oh, well, actually, I'm not sure if it's a massive role, but it's a role into, you know, why people are so, I guess you could say, dry online and why they could respond to you so dry online. Just because, like, dude, it's not my choice to be here. I wanted to go to uni in order to actually have classes online and, you know, things of that nature. And it's because of that. Yeah, it's not that it's, you know, I guess it is forced, that kind of environment, that online environment, and why it's a thing in the first place. It is a little bit forced because, you know, people need to take the precautions in order to stop the spread of, you know, Shmovid. But yeah, like that's probably one of the bigger reasons as to why people are so, you know, the way they are online, because they don't want to be there. They don't want to fucking be there. But also, if like, okay, so my college is they're also like a high school here in the Philippines, and the people that I'm with, they were all together for high school and they went into college like as the same batch. So it's odd for me because everybody kind of really knows everybody except for me, and it's like, of course they don't want it to feel that way where it's like that you feel left out, but you can't help but not feel that way, dude. You cannot help but feel that way because everybody has that connection and you don't. And as much as they try to like, hey, fucking, why don't you talk? Don't be shy. It's like, dude, fuck. What do you mean come talk, dude? It's not as easy as that. Like, if I want to crack a joke, they're probably not gonna laugh the same way, you know. Yeah. They're probably just not gonna laugh in general because they're just like, oh, this is a new kid, and fucking, I don't even know what he's talking about and shit like that.
Yeah.
And you know, that's the case for any relationship. But if you were there in real life in a class, it's more relatable in the sense that you guys understand that you're under the same building, you're in the same building under the same roof with the same professor there in the same classroom, and it's easier to kind of relate to one another there in that situation. And because it's easier to relate there, you know, there's a chance that your jokes might be a little bit more relatable and things of that nature. So there is that. Online friendships, online relationships suck dick. And that's even a thing for people who were in relationships beforehand. Like, I'm not talking about friendships. I'm talking about like genuine fucking boyfriend, girlfriend, you know, you know, things of that nature. Like, I know one of my friends, they fucking broke up because, you know, aside from the pandemic, my friend in that relationship always tried to reach his hand out to make the effort to communicate with his significant other and really just, you know, try to call whenever he can. But unfortunately, unfortunately, his significant other, was always very busy. And it kind of got mixed up because while whenever she responded to him saying like, "Oh hey, like I'm just really busy. Like I'm so tired and I have like work tomorrow," and shit like that. And they also lived in different countries, so that was probably another thing.
Yeah.
But what's it called? It was weird because at the same time she would post on her story of like her with other guys and stuff like that. So it was like, oh, that's troublesome. That is troublesome. And I guess when you long for the touch
brother.
of another person, yeah, exactly, like big oof. Like when you long for the touch of another fucking person, dude, and you're just like
too close to home.
dude, exactly. So it's just like, and oh man, I don't know. Like obviously, I wasn't in the relationship. It wasn't like a polyamorous thing. I wasn't in it. So I can't understand the way they felt towards each other, and I can't understand the way they felt individually. Obviously, I'll never be able to understand that ever. It's been a while. I think they've moved on, especially in both their cases. They moved on, which is great. But it just sucked because when they were here in the Philippines, and when we were hanging out and stuff, they seemed genuinely happy with each other, and it's tough to see that that breakup because it's just like, yeah, it's a whole thing. But yeah, online relationships, online friendships suck a lot of cock, dude. That's a fact.
Definitely.
So there's
I remember I think one of my first relationships, it was online. Well, most of it was online. But this was even before like COVID was a thing. I think this was like my junior year. Oh God, never again. But that's a different story. Yeah, I think like online friendships are definitely something. Mainly just because like there's like how often would you get to interact with someone online? Like you talk to them like every night, right? And yeah, you might be having a good time, but there's still like the moments where you still need to bond with someone, I think, over, either through really like you push through the deeper meaning or deeper form of affection. So, there's like levels of affection and how you can determine one's relationship with one another. And then if you look at your conversation and see what sort of depth it is, represents your relationship.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird. Because then if you're like exchanging facts, right? Or exchanging facts, that's like a really shallow level of the relationship. I don't know what exchanging facts means, but
can you? I'm just
like,
trying to imagine.
Did you know that like this, right? It's because you'd have nothing else to talk about, but then you're like the exchanging of opinions, and then like I think there's 7 layers. It's a book. It's like 7 layers of love, or not 7 layers of I don't fucking. I know there's 7 layers.
Yeah.
And then there's like hopes and dreams, and then one of the lowest there's like fears, I think.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
holy
it's like
shit.
What you fear and like your emotional vulnerabilities. It's like when you share that with someone, you're pretty tight. But yeah,
you're pretty tight, dude.
Yeah, but it sort of counts when you like do it on a basis when you're both sober, because when you're drunk and like start talking about your fears, that's completely different. That's just you.
That's completely
very talkative. But yeah.
Yeah.
And I sort of figured that like online, it's hard to reach certain levels of conversation because it's very hard to transition into that level of conversation, mainly because like there has to be some sort of external input or output actually into someone's relationship that makes them have that kind of conversation, right? So like if a friend of yours has something bad happen to them and they talk to you about it, and then that sort of delves into a different, like a more deeper conversation, then you'd see your friendship pushing to like that level. But that would be on the assumption that something has happened to them or something is happening with them. And you can't really have that happen in a lockdown, I'd say. Well, more of like an external factor rather than internal. And in addition, you also have to consider like the types of conversations you have online, like I said. So, if you're just always like joking around and things like that, yeah, it'll be fun, but you're not getting something on a more meaningful basis. Yeah. And yeah, like, you can't force that kind of conversation. Someone's like, yeah, tell me about your fucking fears, bitch. Like, no, what the fuck? Like, that's how to be really off-putting with someone, is just like you try to force something deep.
Yeah.
And I find it hard for like something like that to sort of transition online, right? In person, it happens, like when you go, like when you guys are like having a moment, or like when you're talking about life, and it just sort of transitions into something like it's like that one-to-one environment where you can feel the vibe of the conversation go, and how like the other person is reacting to you and how you're reacting to them, and then that sort of puts you in a environment where you can like sort of ask these more meaningful questions to get to know someone. And yeah, I think that's something that like an online relationship, or like a strictly online relationship during the COVID pandemic really it's really something. Yeah, it's really something to consider, I would say. That's just like my thoughts though.
Yeah. But dude, I like that 7 layers shit. Like, I think there's
an actual book.
that it's an actual book. I you should, if you can remember, please send the thing. But basically, like, I've been thinking about it too, but in terms of relationships, I was thinking about, oh my god, there's a lot of barking going on downstairs, sorry. I was thinking about like what would I guess instigate what would instigate the cause for a deeper relationship with someone. And I was thinking about it because I do have a therapist, and I was thinking about whether or not my therapist like truly not cares, but she truly like at least tries to understand, because the thing is that the therapist has to keep a professional relationship with their client, and how important that relationship is to them, from my understanding, is how important money is to them, because you are their source of money. And if that's the case, then it's just like you have to understand that relationship between you and your therapist, there is a chance that it will never be more important than money itself. Because if money is not involved, then I feel like maybe that relationship is not as close as one might think. I was just thinking about it, something that I was thinking about throughout the week, because I like to think. What can I say? And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that, because if I get my money's worth, then I don't fucking mind. Because to me, also at the same time, the reason why I have a relationship with this therapist in the first place, relationship meaning she's my therapist, I'm the client. It's like the reason why that's there in the first place is because I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to understand things a little bit better, things of that nature. And if I get my money's worth, I'm fucking happy. I don't mind. I think there's a reason why online relationships are a little bit difficult. Maybe because it's difficult to understand, or maybe not to understand, but it's difficult to kind of know the reason why you are trying to talk to someone in the first place. I've already said it before. Yeah, sure. Maybe the reason is you want to, you need to work, and that reason may not be good enough. But there was also that inkling of that feeling that I want to befriend someone because I want to make a new relationship with someone, or a friendship. Because I still, for the most part, all of my friendships, all of my friends right now in relationships are all the friends that I've had since I graduated high school, and that was a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I've made a few new friends from then, and that's cool. But there's also a part of me that kind of wants to make new friends. And if the reason why I should even talk to someone in the first place is not that compelling, then I just have no reason to talk to anybody online. And like I said, if, let's say, I wanted to make friends with someone only for the reason to socialize, that's also not that great of a reason, I don't think. Well, actually, maybe it is. Yeah, fucking, I don't know, dude. Because there's so many other factors that come into play after you start socializing with someone. Because there's your sense of like, oh, this guy's cool, and if that guy's cool, then you start thinking like, oh, dude, he's great to talk to. Maybe we could become really good friends and shit like that. Or if it's someone of the opposite gender or the opposite sex, then it's just like, oh, dude, this person's great. Maybe this person can be someone I can have a relationship with in the future. Because like when you start socializing with someone, like it just becomes super nuanced, rather than just, oh, I socialize, I like. I have sex, she becomes partner, shit like that. It's
If only.
if only. It's so much more nuanced than that, and I think there is. If you understand and read into it enough, you could probably find some sort of reason why online relationships are super fucking hard to start. Online friendships are hard to start. Granted, maybe there's a simpler explanation, but I'm pretty sure if you dig deep enough, then you can probably find something worthwhile there. But yeah, dude, fucking this whole online thing has put everyone in an interesting situation. For me, I have now found my new addiction, which is the internet, which is YouTube. I fucking love YouTube. YouTube, I watch too much of that shit. And recently I stumbled upon a video by this channel. I don't know if you know him, Veritasium. And he has a lot. It's kind of similar to Vsauce in the sense that there's a lot of like good content. Like it's super of stuff about physics and shit like that. And recently, because I've also been playing some BioShock Infinite, recently I have looked into the many worlds theory. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And basically, it's like the short explanation, I guess, of it, which is it's hard to explain it, but the short explanation is that basically, when there's a choice, the world or the universe actually divides into two. One universe where you made one choice and another universe where you made another choice. Neither the universe that is you is the one that you're aware of. The other universe that isn't you is the one where you're not like truly observing or truly aware of. Because let's say you have the choice to for some reason I guess fucking eat ice cream or not eat ice cream. Alex, what's up? So let's say you have that choice and you take the choice to eat ice cream, right? So that's the universe that you are currently aware of and the universe that you are currently observing. However, there was another universe where you did not eat the ice cream. That's the universe that you are not aware of and you are not observing, but it exists, supposedly, according to this theory, at least. So I watched the video and I'm like, oh, this is sick. This is fucking cool. Probably some of the few like actually mind I don't know how to say, like it brought one of the few YouTube videos that I watch that are like actually filled with information. Most of the YouTube shit that I watch is just fucking mind-numbing. Haha, funny, dude. Love that shit. That shit was good. So yeah, anyway, I went a little bit off track there. Holy shit, I'm talking about many worlds.
Whichever Alex didn't choose to eat the ice cream, I feel bad for them. I feel so bad for them.
I feel so bad. Fucking idiot, dude. Missed out.
Weak. No, but like, I think you make a good point about like, what are you in for a relationship for? Like, what are you expecting to be in like a relationship online? Or it's like, if you obviously want to befriend someone, you'd want to like have a strong connection, and you don't want it just to be like, yeah, it's just like just casual friendship, like just someone I know, just an acquaintance, right? Because in most cases, a lot of these people tend to just be acquaintances. You don't have a strong, deep connection with these people. And then, like, yeah, there's also like the notion of like, finding someone to be a significant other. So then you'd obviously, it'd be nice to have that sort of like initial friendship with that person. But then, you always can't have a friendship with someone immediately if you want them to be your partner. You just have to like go on dates and see how that works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like in most cases, like you obviously think to yourself, like, what am I in this for? Like, am I just here because I'm just starving social interaction and I just want like some form of attention? Like, Geeb, like, come on. Or like, are you here for like, because you want to like form a stronger connection with like some human being that you find is genuinely interesting, and then you it's sort of hard to determine that reason, especially when you're online. Just because like what do you do or what do you know in the situation? Because then there's an entire aspect of being a friend is like seeing them, and that's like completely removed to like you only seeing them on a screen. And there's obviously a big distinction with interacting online and interacting in person. So yeah, that's something to consider, I think. It's like my experiences with interacting with people in person and befriending people in person, they've been something quite new, I'd say. Mainly just because they're like the first friends I've made outside of high school. And that's definitely something different, I'd say. It's like being able to learn how to interact with people again. That's one thing. Trying to learn how to be social, trying to learn how to like have conversation again, like an actual flowing conversation between two people. And then just like learning how to read social cues. And I think everyone's starved for social interaction when you get out of lockdown. But yeah, it was definitely something new to discover. And then just sort of discover reasons why you want to like interact, like I said before. And now it's like, oh, I want to make genuine connections with people. And there's also like the I think that you brought this up a while ago, was like the cultural differences even from place to place, because you went to a place where everyone went to high school together and then just went to college. Here there's like a lot of public schools and private schools, and people just like graduate, and some people go to the same school or same university, so they have people they already know.
Yeah.
So like in some cases they don't really have the need to socialize or have the need to make friends, because like they already have a couple people they know or some tight-knit groups and shit like that. So then if you were just someone that's completely brand new, and you don't live in a dorm, or you don't have a friend group, you're really like in a very hard position, because it's like culturally, it may be culturally different, but then as well you just have to like mingle your way around and find somewhere to like interact with. And there's no guarantee that whatever person you start talking to in real life actually like likes you, right?
Yeah.
Like as much as everyone starts with social interaction, they still have like some sort of standards. And if you're a weird bloke, they're not be like, oh, come into my friend group. Like, no, they'll be like, fuck out of here. Right?
Yeah, that's true. Give me 1 second. I gotta use the bathroom.
And we're back from a toilet break. What was the talking about again?
Talking about
something about like
we were like IRL friends this time around.
Yeah, something like
environmental cultural shit or whatever.
Yeah, something like so the difference in like, I think I already described that, is so yeah, like even then I think like if you're a weird guy, then you have to find your own set of weird people to be with. And weird is very subjective, but yeah, like as much as everyone's starved for interaction, they'll still be picky, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, I think, trying to, especially like, so I've noticed that in a classroom, it's really coin tossy whether or not you make friends. Because I thought everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, they're gonna talk and shit, like everyone's gonna mingle and shit like that. No, that's not the case. That's really not the case. In my experience, when you get to a classroom, you basically assign yourself a seat, and then you just sit there for like the rest of the semester. And you have to hope to fucking God that the person you sit, or in the group you sit with, are like sociable. Because in most cases, you're just going to be speaking to them for most of the semester. And, if you don't like make a good enough connection, that's bye-bye after 12 weeks. So, yeah, that's the thing. So you're not guaranteed a friendship, even if you have like IRL class, right? Like when the first week of one of my classes, I sat in this group, and I'm like, I feel no connection between any of us. And luckily, one other person I talked to outside of the classroom, and then I sat next to them, and the next thing you know, we like over the next like the span of the next couple of weeks, we started talking a lot more, and they got to the point where like, are we friends? And then they're like, I'd say so. I'm like, oh.
Yo, let's go.
I went monkey mode a little bit because like this is like my first uni friend. Like I've made a friend in uni. Like I've made like a singular friend before university that I just like constantly met on a consistent basis, and then we're pretty close. But then like to actually have like a university friend, it's like, I was like, wow, this is something, And then like I didn't feel the like. I try, I don't know how to like, it's just a really great feeling to have because like now I've made like a friend that I haven't had any connection with or I haven't known them before, mainly just because like we enjoy hanging out with each other and shit like that. And it's like, it's great.
Yeah.
And then like I've come to like make other friends as well and that I see on a weekly basis and it's like, oh shit, is this what making friends feels like? Like I haven't felt this feeling since like second grade. Back when it was like so easy to make friends because you just be like, do you want to be my friend? And someone's like, yeah. I'm like, oh fuck.
Oh, that's
and then
so
you're fucking
true,
friends until like high school for some unknown reason.
Just because you want to be my friend.
Like that's how easy it was. You just play with someone in the playground and next thing you know you're bros. And it's like,
yeah.
But yeah, like once you have to start making friends when you're older, you sort of have to like be more choosy because you obviously want to surround yourself with people that you enjoy, right? There's no point slugging around being around people you fucking despise.
Yeah.
And even now, like, there's no point of like, oh, I'm gonna suck up to these people. I'm so lonely. Like, just be lonely, God. But yeah, like even then, like even like making friends IRL it's still difficult. It's still really difficult. Especially if you're in a new place and you don't have any sort of like connection to anywhere. It's really difficult. And like just talking to people, even then, that doesn't guarantee you anything, really. And I think that's the one thing people just say is like, oh, just talk to people. Like, no, talking to people won't guarantee you shit, right? Because then you'll just be in the same loop and cycle with someone over and over again, I think you have to make a conscious effort. Because if you really feel like a vibe with someone, then you really have to like leap on every opportunity you can get, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have a good conversation with one person, then that's an opportunity for you to ask them to get coffee or get lunch with. Because if you don't miss it, then they'll probably form friendships with other people in that classroom and maybe more involved in that thing. So then you're just left there by yourself, right? And something I also noticed is that you have to be very consistent. Because if you don't see someone...
Throwback. Shout out.
Ooh,
consistency.
True. Throwback, yeah. But yeah, if you don't see someone on a consistent basis, you're not allowing a connection to be formed, right? So if you see someone once or twice a week, because like that's the reason why you're friends with people in high school, because you see them every day. So you had to like talk to them. But if you see them once or twice a week, that's a form of consistency where you can continuously talk to someone. And you don't necessarily run out of things to talk about because you have like the whole week of things to like catch them up about, and then you can start talking about more like personal things. Because like you obviously have to go through that bullshit conversation, and then you can go into like the more deep interpersonal kind of things, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like if you consistently see someone that you enjoy hanging out with, eventually you'll befriend them, and you'll be more than just friends. It'll just like build something, and then it's about taking the next steps when you're more comfortable to like seeing them outside of university and doing things with them, and to create more bonding between each other.
Yeah. You brought up something interesting. Jesus Christ. Impoting. Oh, damn.
Impotent. Yeah. Shout out on having kids. What? Yeah.
Damn. No, but you brought up something interesting a while ago about being guaranteed a friend when you go into these types of environments. And I thought that was interesting that you said that because it's not something that we...
I think it's not being guaranteed a friend. I think. That's what I meant. It's like, even if you go into a social environment, you're not guaranteed
No, that's what I mean
Oh,
though.
okay,
Is like
yeah.
it's interesting because like when you think about it, like people don't really think about like oh like yeah like I understand that sure I won't be guaranteed a friend for sure, but when you're going into like uni or when you're going into like a new grade and maybe there's like new students coming in, or if you're going to join a community like on Discord or maybe on Facebook or whatever the fuck,
Mm-hmm.
like people usually go in there thinking like oh dude I'm gonna make some friends, and with that mindset automatically you're kind of like sort of implying that you're kind of guaranteed like a friend, someone,
Mm-hmm.
but like you said you're not guaranteed that at all, just because people have their differences, people have their likes, people have their wants, people have things that they don't want or don't like, and if you fall in that list of things that they don't
You're
like,
not
you're
getting shit.
definitely not you're not getting shit, you're not guaranteed anything, and like you said, once you find someone who you're vibing with, so to speak, then at that point, yeah, if you want to pursue that friendship, that relationship, then there is something to be said about being consistent there. Because if you are consistent in something that you kind of want to achieve, or if you're consistent with someone you want to be friends with, then there is a very good possibility that that relationship, that friendship will go through and you guys
Mm-hmm.
will be friends.
Mm.
It could even, evolve into something much more than that. And if it's something that you want to do, then obviously that can evolve into like a job or things of that nature. But yeah, the consistency there in terms of friendships are very important, I think, and you do bring a good point in that regard. So yeah, I thought that was very interesting that you said you're not guaranteed a friend, because like yeah, at least for me, that's kind of that was my mindset kind of going into college, like oh dude, these guys kind of want to do the same thing I want to do, fucking guaranteed a friend for sure,
Yeah.
dude, or like, no, yeah.
Mm.
So
Well, I think
yeah.
there's like the talking and then the doing, right? Because you're
Mm.
like, yeah, I'm gonna make all these fucking friends. I'm gonna be super popular. I'm gonna be like, everyone's gonna know me, right? And you just like 2 weeks in, I have no friends. Like it's because you talk and you don't do, and that's a whole other video idea right there.
Yeah,
Doing,
yeah, it is.
but yeah, it's the thing is like you like unless you're like on a dorm, friends won't just like magically appear out of nowhere. Like you go to a classroom, right, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna befriend people here. Okay, how? Do it, right? Because then you have to actually
Fucking
fucking
do it,
do it,
dude! I
right?
dare you.
Like then, because like you say you're gonna make friends, but then like you just wait for life to just hand people to talk to. Like no, that's
Yeah,
not gonna be the fucking case. You have to like actually put an effort, make yourself seem interesting, right? Because if you're a fucking plank of a person, no one wants to befriend that. Unless
yeah,
you want to befriend other fucking planks, right? And they're just like, yeah, I like to do things. Like, yeah, everyone likes to do things. Make yourself interesting, right?
yeah.
And I'm
You know
not.
what's crazy though is that like people kind of complain when they can't make a friend, and it's just like, well, you're not putting the effort. Why are you, why are you complaining?
It's I don't know. They don't want to see the issue with themselves. They're just like the world is cruel.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, of course it's cruel, but do something about it. Uh,
True. Yeah. Ignore it, dude. Shut up.
but like the thing is like. The notion is like you just expect to like friends come talk to me. Yeah, like the thing is like, but why should someone talk to you unless you're interesting, right? Get it?
Yeah.
Like you have to be interesting or somewhat engaging to like make friends. And then I sort of realized like, oh, you have to like come off as more dynamic and like lively as a person. Because if you're just like, yeah, I like to read. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like reading. Yeah, I like working out. Like, wow, you fuck me. Like, if it was that easy to be like to act like that and get friends, I would become that. I would
Oh
embody that.
my.
But you actually have to be
Yeah.
dynamic and actually be a
Yeah.
living person, because then that attracts people to come towards you and like, oh shit, this guy is fun to hang around. He's very likes this, like he's very passionate about things, knows his stuff. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
myself or anything like that, but yeah, that's the thing. Like you always have to come off a certain way and try to make it as natural as possible, because like if you're really passionate about something, bring it up, right? But if you don't do that, people won't talk to you. Like if you like playing video games, talk about what kind of video games you like, and then find the nerdiest looking guy and talk to them. Because the highest chance is that person also likes video games. Then you can bond over something.
Mm.
And then just like, you know, if you don't take these opportunities and take these actions, you ain't making shit, right? Don't expect someone to approach. Don't expect like a nerd to approach you. And I can say that because I'm a nerd. Because like they'll be so like social, like have so much social anxiety to approach people. So then you have to like approach them, right? Or don't expect like the jock looking guy to approach you, or don't expect the girls to approach you just because like you're there. You have to like approach people and like make the conscious effort to socialize with them, right? They're not gonna hand you like friends on a fucking silver platter. And I learned that the hard way. Like I'm like, yo, where the friends at, right? Like no, they don't come, man. And
Unless you're a Sigma male, by the way, and then
maybe
they fucking flock to you, dude.
If you just radiate like chat energy, and everyone just
yeah, you're just there like, come to me, motherfuckers. Dude.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You actually have to make yourself interesting, and you have to make yourself like do things to actually get people to like socialize with you. And even then, that's not a guarantee that you'll make friends, right? Because then if everyone comes like you socialize with people and you're just like you don't find these people interesting, then what's the point of like pursuing a friendship, right?
Yeah.
So then you just still have to keep looking, and you have to keep looking, and then like you probably go through quite a few people before you realize like, oh, I like this person. And then now when you find you like someone or not like someone to like befriend, then you have to like take every opportunity you can to like socialize with them, but not come off as like overbearing, you know. But you know that's a whole other thing. And like you know there's so much more that like can be discussed about this. And I could just go on and on and on, really. But
yes, sir. We could.
I always can. But you know,
yeah.
I think we're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
So Benjo, what are the closing remarks?
Closing remarks. Fucking guys, it's time to invest in marital arts. It's an up and coming business. It's an up and coming business. Mm-hmm. Invest in the right businesses, and you'll get somewhere. But no, online relationships, they're difficult. They're difficult to cultivate. They're definitely difficult to instigate to begin with. But you know, I think if you find the right community, if you find the right reasons to make friends online, then you know I think it's definitely easier that way, and that even goes for you know IRL. I think like in real life, but and when it comes to online relationships, online friendships, it's it's more manifested in the way people act online. Like if you are interested in video games, there are direct communities that are dedicated to video games where you can mingle and talk to people who have the same interests as you. In real life, it's different. You won't, you know, there aren't, you know, people with like fucking stickers on their head saying, I fucking love video games, dude, or like, you know, they aren't. Yeah, if only. Like they're not saying like, oh, dude, I love this one game. You should come talk to me. I mean, you know, maybe they would be, but you won't know unless you talk to that person. And yeah, that's the whole thing. So yeah.
I think like you're not guaranteed anything, so just keep going. And like I think the one thing is I really wish someone told me this, is like don't be disheartened if someone doesn't like you or enjoy being in your company. You know, everyone's got their own flavor.
Yes, sir.
So like, you know, you just gotta keep looking for your own flavor or your own group, you know. Because if you stop looking, then you just prevent yourself from ever finding that. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that was pretty.
That was great.
Yeah.
Profound. All right. Well, on that note, see ya.
Bye.